friends, welcome back to the Homestead. We are back in the shop, got the forge going, heating up some metal, but I posted a video of making a little Christmas ornament, forging a little Christmas ornament, so I thought I'd bring you along and kind of show you how we did that. Now, I'm not a professional blacksmither by any means, so this is a very simple to do ornament. Basically, it's going to be an S shape, and yeah, that's it. So I'll bring in here and show you the steps that I took to make this. Now, because we're making this out of some rebar, it's going to be a lot thicker than the metal that we want to use. So we're going to have to draw this out to a smaller material. We want it to be more like 3/16. So let's crank up the gas a little bit. That'll get a little bit more heat into the metal. All right. So to draw this out, what we'll do is we'll hammer on two sides, and we'll only draw it out to be about 2 inches down. We'll just flatten out the one side and then turn it to its side, flatten it out that way. We'll just do this over and over again until it's drawn out. Ultimately, it'll be about 10 to 12 inches long and only about 3/16 inches in diameter or in thickness. About halfway there. You can start with just some smaller stock, like 1/4 inch stock like I've got here, but I kind of like the idea of taking something that was not useful and turning it into something pretty or useful or nice. Now that we've got it all drawn out to be about 1/4 of an inch, I'll go ahead and taper this end so that it brings it down to a point. What we'll do is we'll put it right on the edge of the anvil and then strike it at a corner. We'll lift up the edge, and that way it'll give us a nice little tip. And that way, when we draw this out, we can taper that in a little bit more, and that way it'll give us room to have some metal to use for our scrollies. All right, so now that we've got this end drawn out to about the width and diameter that we need it to be, we're going to work on drawing out this little taper. So what I'm doing is I'm just rocking it back and forth on two sides of the anvil. That way we keep a nice square shape to it. That's kind of the look that I want it to have. I don't want it to be rounded at all. If we wanted to round it, we'd go on each corner and then start knocking those down as well. So now that we've got a nice point, we've drawn that taper all the way out, now we can work on our first scroll on this end. So to make the first scroll, what we're going to do is we're going to heat up that tip and then just lay it over the edge of the anvil just a little bit and tap it down until it starts to curl in. Then we'll be able to turn it over and tap it towards ourselves, and that'll just roll that steel up naturally, giving it a nice little finial or scroll look. Just like that, now we have our first little scroll end of it. So now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and cut off the material that we've drawn out, and we'll flip the steel around, draw this down to a point, and then draw it out to the width and the thickness that we need it all the way down, put another scroll on the other end, and then we'll start manipulating it into that ornament shape that we want. Now I don't have all the proper tools that I need to cut hot steel, like a hardy hole chisel or anything like that, but we can use the edge of the anvil as long as we're being gentle with it. All right, so we're good and hot here. We'll take it right to the edge, and we'll just hit a couple times there, flip it over, one more there, and then we'll stop with that hammer, and we'll grab a brass hammer and finish the job. Now, the metal will drop on the floor. Be careful when you're doing this. The first time I did this, I had my foam mats down so that it was a little bit easier on my feet, and I wasn't thinking the hot metal dropped right down onto the foam mat and caught on fire. Wasn't a big deal, but just be careful when you're doing that because it is very hot steel that will be flying around and on your floor. All right, so we're done with this. We can quench this and put it away. Now we're going to grab my little tongs and pick up the steel that we dropped on the floor. So this piece didn't cut off super cleanly, so we'll have to do a little bit of cleanup on that. Like I said, I'm not a professional blacksmith. All right, I think I'm liking that. Let's draw this tip out just a little bit more, because this scroll is going to be a little bit bigger than that one, and then we'll shape it into the ornament itself. So to make this little end, I'm just going to grab it with the vice grips here. That way I can get a better purchase on it, because when you're hammering back on you, you really need a really good strong purchase on the steel in order to add some resistance. We're just going to scroll this the opposite way that this end is scrolled over. Just tap it down and then start hammering it back on itself. There, that's looking nice. Now that we've got that scrolly end kind of formed pretty much how I want it, and that one, so what this is going to do, this will be the S, so this will be the top, and it'll scroll around. Now we're just going to bend it and scroll it slowly into shape, and stop when we're done. Yummy. Grilled cheese. Compliments of my wonderful daughter. So we'll just curve this around, slight S curve, just like that. And once we've got that looking about right, we'll swap ends and curve the other side of the S around. Just slowly, carefully bend it into place so that it starts to look how you want it to look. So I ended up knocking that larger scroll in just a bit more than I wanted it. It looks a little wonky, so we're gonna try to straighten it out a bit more and clean it up. So once you get all the scrolls done, and just use your pliers and shape it to how you want it. Now we'll go in and just clean things up a little bit, straighten up the scrolls so that they're all nice and flat, and then we'll put a coat of wax on it to kind of seal it in so it doesn't rust. So you want to do the wax when it's warm but not super hot, and that way the wax will just melt right into the pores on the metal, but it won't pull up or evaporate. You can see it just kind of spread itself into everything and kind of soak up into the pores and just kind of get it all over it and all the nooks and crannies. Flip it over. Just let it sit there and cool off and put a little ribbon on it. Well guys, thanks so much for watching. This was by no means a all-inclusive tutorial or how-to on this. There's much better blacksmiths out there than me. But it's a fun little skill that I've been learning, and getting to be able to do this on the homestead and make some things for some family members is a real joy. It's really special to me. But I hope that you guys liked this video. If you did, or found it entertaining in any way, hit the thumbs up. It really does help the channel. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to subscribe, see more of what we've got going on the homestead. And let me know if you like this this kind of content. I'm enjoying doing this. This is what I'm doing right now. So I thought I'd bring you along and show you what I've been up to and how I'm making some little Christmas ornaments. But if you want to see more of this kind of content, let me know down in the comments below what you like about it and maybe what you'd like to see me forge next. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.